Okay guys, we're going to go over a little use of cover here. Once again, I've just been through several YouTube videos and I wanted to kind of counter that. As you can see here, we got a 4-foot tall dummy and just a plastic fold-up table we're going to kind of simulate as cover and a threat. Now you guys can see this particular 4-foot tall posted dummy here, but when I move back here I cannot see it. And we're going to try and turn the camera around and give you a view from the dummy's perspective to see how much of our body we need to expose when coming behind a cover. Now, what I keep seeing, and I keep seeing this a lot, and it just seems real amateurish, is we're having instructors, we're having people training where they are essentially within arm's length of cover. Now, if you're in a hallway or something like that, then you really don't have a lot of room. But if you're in a big classroom like we're here, or you're outside or someplace like that, you need to be back off. You can see I'm almost out of camera view at the moment. And there's a reason for that. When we turn this camera around, you're going to find that if I'm going to engage this threat from arm's distance away, not only is my muzzle very close to the cover, and I got to worry about that offset in our sights as I come around, right? I need to expose quite a lot of myself to get a good center mass hit on this target. Now, if I just take a step and a half back, right, and you can still see that particular dummy in the camera view, but I'm just off to the edge. All I really have to do at this point in time is lean out just a little bit, and you'll see where my hands end up in the camera view. From there, I can get a good center mass hit, and my sight offset doesn't matter as much. You're still going to want to, kind of practice with that, because if you hit the edge of this cover, obviously, you're going to cause spattering or whatever. If you're at the range training, use something that, plywood or cardboard or something like that. You can't see through, but if a bullet hits it, you can kind of see the impact. But, that's the way we want to use cover. We want to be back off and cover as far as possible. Same way with concealment. I mean, this table here is essentially concealment. It's just plastic. But, we're pretending here that it's some kind of a hard cover. But if the attacker can't see you and you can engage him, then that's the entire kind of premise of the use of cover and concealment, is to be able to engage an attacker without him being able to engage back. And the more benefits you give to yourself, the better off you're going to be at the end of the day. So let's turn this camera around and maybe you guys can get an idea of how much of yourself you need to expose when you're using cover and concealment. Okay guys, now you got a perspective from behind this cover here, pretty much from the idea of a 5-foot tall dummy here. So you can see the edge of the table. Once again, we're going to use a plastic toy gun. We're not pointing anything in directions we're not supposed to. But essentially, what I'm going to do here, as you can see, I'm pretty close to the cover. I'm actually less than an arm's length away. I can reach my fingers around behind it. So what I'm going to do is expose myself from behind this cover at arm's length distance. And then I'm going to come out, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that same step and a half back. And if you look back here, you can see the other two classroom tables I got set up. And that's where my camera was sitting before. So you kind of get the idea already of, how much the distance, if you go back in the video and look at where the camera was sitting before and where you could see and where you couldn't see, you get an idea of how big of a difference that little bit of distance is going to make. So as we come from here, right, and now arm's length, coming back around my cover, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get a center mass hit on that particular target, okay, as I lean out, okay, and right there, that's a good center mass hit, okay. Now you can see this much of it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a step and a half back, right. So here I come into your view, 1.5 steps back, which is pretty much right to the edge of this table here where the camera was sitting before. So here we go, okay? Back under cover, my attacker is completely behind cover, I can't see any of it. and I'm just going to edge out, and I'm going to get a center mass hit. And you're going to hear my little plastic gun go off. So, gives you an idea how just a little bit of distance is going to make a big difference in your defensive training. Okay, so we got the camera set back up on the table where it was before, and you can see this, you know, just to give you a perspective when we're all done here. During the first section of the video, you know, I was standing arm's length away from the cover. Right here is where I was standing, trying to get a good center mass hit on my tackle. Okay, and I needed to expose pretty much this section of my body along with my arm to get that center mass hit. Now, you know, give you an idea. So I take 1.5 steps back. 1.5. Okay, so here we go. I cover this up, and let me try and move the camera here for you so you can see how far over I am. So we're going to make it so that I cannot see that particular attacker at all. And we're going to see how far I have to lean out just to get a good center mass hit. It's right there. Now that's exactly where I was at before. So you can see I didn't really move at all. I didn't move my feet to get that hit. And as you can see from the dummy's perspective, you couldn't see me at all. So that's the way you need to use your cover. Make it so that you're covered, the assailant is not.